Okay, welcome to the Global Business Creation Call at this very, very interesting time in the world. Today, I wanted to really connect and contribute and create with all of you and for all of us at a time where I think if we really choose our power of choice to create in our lives and in our businesses, it could be the greatest moment in history for us in our lifetime yet. Okay, so what else is possible for us at this time and for our businesses at this time? And I would really love to do this as a collaborative and interactive session because my genuine desire for this call is for it to be the greatest contribution possible for all of you. And so in order for that, I would like to know what you would like to receive, what information you require, what you're struggling with, what you need right now in your life, in your business, with your mindset, with your awareness, all of that and more. So as I've said, use the chat box, raise your hand, unmute yourself, ask questions. As always, we are going to deep dive. There is no intro, there is no taking it slow. And I also really want to speak to the energy that's available here. I did the global contribution call on Saturday with many of you on that call, and it was a really phenomenal call, right? And yet here we are today, and for the business call, the energy has been so different. And dare I say it, I felt like I shouldn't really say it, and I wasn't allowed to, but it's so much more exciting for me as a humanoid to see what the possibilities are at this time. And this is what I really wanted to get into with you all, because if you're on this call, if it resonated with you, then I'm sure there is something that you can receive from this or contribute to this conversation. So what is that? And what else is possible for all of us? For those of you who have no idea who I am, first of all, thank you so much for being here. My name is Adela Rafiz. I am in New Zealand right now. I'm from New Zealand, which is a pretty small country in the South Pacific of the world. Right now, and to give you some context for what's going on where I am and what's creating some of my points of view, to be fair, around what's required, is my country is in what we're calling level 4 lockdown. So due to coronavirus, we're all in our homes. You are not allowed to leave the house unless it's for an essential purpose or to go for a walk in your local area. There is complete shutdown of all businesses deemed non-essential. That includes online business. If you need to send a physical product via post, you cannot trade right now. So unless you have an entirely digital business, meaning you can sell and deliver your product digitally, there is no business happening. And each day, because we are a small country, the effects of this over the last 2 weeks, we're 2 weeks into an initial 4-week lockdown, the effects of this every day over the last 2 weeks increase. You know, today we got an email from another business saying, 58 branches had been closed. These are the big national businesses. Yesterday we found out that our national airline in New Zealand is laying off over 300 pilots. Every day we receive news like this, okay? So I'm saying this to you, why? To give you some context and some awareness about what's happening in the part of the world that I'm in, because I know it's similar for a lot of you. It's worse, much, much worse in many countries. It's not at that place yet for many other countries. No matter where you are and what country you're in right now, what I would like to explore today is the possibilities available to you. I was actually in the middle of introducing myself, wasn't I? So for the last 10 years, I've been a holistic practitioner. So by profession, I trained and graduated as a chiropractor 10 years ago. And after that, I specialized in emotional and behavioral health. And so that is the work that I do together with being an access consciousness facilitator. I've been doing access consciousness for the last 7, 8, 9 years. And before I graduated as a chiropractor, I worked in a trauma and counseling background. So I worked with people in all sorts of situations, whether it was domestic violence or trauma, on emergency helplines. So that is who I am. And today I'd like to see how I can use some of the tools that I have, some of the awareness that I have, and some of the information that I have to contribute to you all. And I would also like to invite and encourage all of you, and we've got some of my really wonderful friends on here. We've got the body whisperers, yay, we've got the business whisperers, we've got my very dear friends who are fellow facilitators, maestros. We have Amrit here, who's from Miracles in Dubai. I can see Aradna, I can see Alexandra, who's translating for us into French. We've got Eva translating for us into Romanian. Unmute yourself, guys, if you want to say a quick hi, and then we'll jump into the call.
I love you.
I love you too. I love a lot. I genuinely
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here on the call.
Hi, Adila. Happy to be on the call.
Yeah, hi, Adila.
Hello. Okay. So do I have permission to kind of jump into a few things? And then I would love to get you guys to feedback to me what you would like to do and what you would like more information on or help with. But as we start, if we could all, for the duration of just this call, just for the next 50 minutes or so, would you please, first of all, expand out as big as you can be. Okay. And would you please, just for the next 50 minutes, destroy, uncreate, return to sender all of your projections, all of your expectations, all of your separations, all of your judgments, all of the points of view that you are subject to, that you've picked up from the people around you, from the world around you, from the people you live with, from the people on the other side of the world, everything that you are aware of, everyone else's universes that you are in, all of the doom and gloom and trauma, and all of the happiness and joy, and all of the conspiracy, and all of the doubt, and all of the fear, and everything going on right now for many of us, if not all of us. Just for this moment, would you please destroy it? Would you uncreate it? Would you let it go? And would you return it to sender? And would you get really clear with getting into your own reality so that you can get the most of this out of this call, and you can have some really crisp awareness, you can have some really clear awareness around what it is that you are aware of, what it is that you require, and what it is that your business is asking you to create at this very special time in history. Okay. All right. Now remember to stay expanded, guys. I have talked a lot over the last week. If you haven't yet listened to the Global Contribution Call from Saturday, if you haven't listened to any of my Facebook Lives recently, please, 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 at this time, do yourself a favor, and every hour, every minute, ask yourself, who does this belong to? Return it to sender. Ask, whose universe am I in? Ask, what am I aware of right now? Is this mine or is this somebody else's? Because we are just pinging and picking up so much information, and if we're not careful, it can be hours or days and perhaps even weeks that we spend in somebody else's or the whole world's universe. For today's call, the reason I want to get really clear about that is because you're going to feel like you don't have a clear awareness and you don't know what to do if you're not out of everyone else's universe, okay? So first tip is, before you, when you ask a question of yourself and you feel like you're not getting a clear awareness, first of all, ask yourself, okay, am I in anyone else's universe? Who am I being right now? Destroy and uncreate it, or return it to sender, or pod and pocket if you do access. If you don't do access and you have no idea what I'm talking about, just say, whoever this belongs to, return it to sender, please. And all of the energetic bits that you have been picking up and that are sticking into your awareness and into your psyche and having an effect on how you're thinking or how you're feeling will clear away. So you have more clarity and more ease. Okay, are we still expanded? Are we ready? Okay. Okay. So as humanoids right now, there is not a single humanoid I can imagine who doesn't have so much awareness at many, many levels of your consciousness, or at all levels of your consciousness, meaning there's what you're aware of at a cognitive level, there's what you have running at a subconscious level, there's what you're aware of but you're not aware of that you're aware of, there's what your body is aware of, and there's what your mind is aware of, and what your being is aware of, okay? All of that can make it really easy to just feel like you don't know how to move forward, or you don't know what's true for you, or you don't know what's light for you, or you don't know what to do right now. And when all of that's going on and you're aware of all of this awareness, it can seem really callous to feel quite excited about the possibilities for the future. Quite excited about the possibilities for your business, and actually be prepared and willing and actually demand that this is a time of immense growth and abundance and profitability for your business. But that is what is possible if you're willing to choose it, own it, claim it, have that demand. And secondly, if you're willing to recognize that there must be, for the work that I do and for the work that most of you do, if you're on this call with me, you believe in consciousness and you believe in intuitive capacities and a way of the world to be and to function where there's something right about it, even if we don't understand what it is at the time, or we can't see what that is. And so despite all of the sadness and trauma and change, which can be very uncomfortable happening at one level, like I said, if you are a humanoid right now on Earth, experiencing what we are experiencing, and you are here on this call with me, then I'm really excited for you and for I, because if you're on this call, it means that you're fairly safe, you're healthy enough right now to be on this call, you have the resources to be on this call, and you are someone who has the ability right now to choose to create rather than to need to survive. And for business owners around the world right now, the conversation is around survival. And what I want to change that conversation to for you specifically is to thriving, is to adapting and to evolving. Okay? Evolution is something that evolution, not from the natural state of evolution, but even the natural state of evolution. Evolution is about the most adaptable species or the most adaptable beings or organisms or entities are those who survive and thrive. Are you willing, and is your business willing to be highly adaptable and evolve in this current climate? Are you willing to win this? Okay. And everything that is, and anything that might be bringing up for you, and everywhere where that either feels super light or everywhere where you hadn't even thought of it that way before, would you give that a moment to sink in and see how it feels in your body? If it feels light, if it feels good, if it resonates in some way, then what can that awareness contribute to you? Okay, so I have lots of things to talk about in terms of there are so many places I could go and that I would love to go in this call. But as I said, I'm really interested in giving you what you would like and talking to you guys about what you would like to talk about. And then maybe whether it's in the middle or towards the end of the call, I'll talk about some of the stuff I'm creating and doing as part of creating for you and with my business and with other businesses. And also we have our other contributors, and they might want to contribute and talk a little bit about what's going on for them in business and how they're creating at this time. But also at this moment, ask me what you would like, or tell me what you would like to get out of this call today. And you need to unmute yourself, reminder, or type into the chat box. And while that's happening, maybe Amrit, would you like to say something?
I'm so glad we're doing this, firstly. So thank you so very, very much for this amazing opportunity. Wow, it's actually been really, really insightful because there are a few confessions I think I should make, that I need to make, that I have realized over the last few weeks with business, with people, with so many different things. And I think so it's been a really interesting journey in the sense that, so first and foremost, the biggest priority for me has always been to create a business or to create a platform, which is always a win-win for everyone. And I realized that I think somewhere I personally struggle to do that, because conceptually it's a great concept, right? Like we all want that. But then when we try to convert that into real time, so many things get in the way of that, and so many things happen that, it doesn't really always translate the way you'd like it to. So one of the things that I have become really aware of, and I'm super, super mindful about, is creating a whole setup and creating strategies and creating ways through which it truly is a win-win for everyone, no matter what that looks like. And what that has taken me to is the realization that I have loved business, and Miracles, which is my business, has always spoken to me, and it's always been great from that sense. But what I have become so aware of is the one thing that has struggled with business is my body. My body doesn't really like business because maybe, and I realized that, or I became aware of the fact that, I come from a business family, and I've always grown up seeing people who have done business extremely stressed, extremely worried, people who have diabetes, high blood pressure, like that's just the norm in the business world. You know what I mean? And so I think I bought a lot of those points of views, and I think I really stepped into those realities quite dynamically when I realized that I was running my business the way that I was. And I guess now where I'm at is to just create more ease with my body receiving from my business more, and my body contributing to my business more. So I guess that's really where I'm at right now.
One of my favorite topics, as we all know.
And the body was it was like in my blind spot. Like it it was really my blind spot. And I know that this may sound a bit self-obsessive, because there are so many businesses out there that are really struggling at the minute. And I'm talking to so many people who are either like shutting down, they're at the verge of shutting down. And like, I'm so, so grateful that we're so far away from that at the moment, because we've gone completely digital and we're still doing okay. But it's just like, I'm just like, you know, when I hear all of these things around me, I'm like, so what else can I create? And what else can I do? I'm like, okay, I'm like, tone it down a little bit.
Or turn it up.
Or turn it up, exactly. And then the more I turn it up, the more aware I am of what shows up in my body.
Right. Can I speak to that just for a minute, only because it's popping so dynamically? And not only for our bodies, but right now, how many people are just really preparing and gearing up for this to be really hard? Like, how many of you, or wherever your body goes to right now when it's aware of the world, and there's all of these predictions right now out there about, you know, the global economy is going to be impacted by 10%, by 20%, by 50%. It's going to be much worse than the last GFC. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. So many industries are going to go out of business. How much are you already bracing? How much have you already failed or decided you're going to fail? How hard have you already concluded it's going to be? And how painful is it going to be for you, for your body, for your health? How joyless are you setting your life up to be in the coming months or years because of whatever's happening right now? And if this doesn't apply to you at a cognitive level, if you could just ask your body how much of that it's been aware of or is taking on for the world right now, would you just take a second to do that? And then ask it again to relax, and just for the next 50 minutes, body, would you let that all go? Would you return that to sender? Would you completely relax, because just in this moment we are safe? We're okay. Nothing bad is happening. And what if it wasn't going to be that? In fact, what if you could be the anomaly? What if you are the anomaly? What if this is what I wanted to speak to for humanoids. And if you're on this call and you don't know what a humanoid is someone who thrives in situations precisely like this one. So you know how normally in life you humanoids are like, I'm just not motivated to create unless there's a disaster, unless I'm on a really tight deadline, unless my back's really against the wall and I'm really going to lose out on something, and unless it's a really desperate time and it's calling for really desperate measures, you won't bother succeeding. Well, right now, the world is at that moment. And this is your time to step up. And this is your time to do that other thing that humanoids like to do, where you say, watch me create the opposite of what the world and everyone around me is telling me is going to be my reality. You have an opportunity right now to use all of your humanoid traits to your advantage. All of those things that you do where this reality is really slow and there's too many rules and you're stuck in this reality and how everyone else does it and how you're meant to do it and how long it takes and all of those things. Right now, the whole world has changed overnight or in a week. So the rules don't apply. And it's the first time where all people, are really happy to see innovation and change. If you as a business owner can show them how you're changing to adapt to this current climate and situation so that your business can survive, they're applauding you, they want to support you, and they're saying, yes, we want to support businesses to stay in business because we want to support global economies right now. And so you have the chance to make all the changes that you wanted to make, but you couldn't, at the speed, which you've always wanted to, but always felt like you had to go slower, with no regard for the rules and how everyone else is doing it and how you're meant to do it, because right now there are no rules. And the more you innovate and the more different you can be, the more you will actually be applauded and received, because the world is looking for leaders and people in every industry to do something different, to show us how they are going to evolve and adapt to this climate change. So, and
that has actually been the most exciting thing of all. It's the creativity that's coming out of this and the stuff that's presenting itself through this. It's just been like, it's so exciting.
And I wanted to speak to that as well, because so Amrit's business before this was almost entirely like face-to-face and in person, right?
We did online, but for people who weren't in the country mainly.
Right.
We did online, but not as much as we are now.
Yeah. And for a lot of the people on this call, if you are in the healing or practitioner or even coaching business or industry, and a large percentage or all of your clients, and any service-based business really, where you delivered a service that was face-to-face or in person, this is why it's so exciting, because you can have not just an individual, but an entire organization like Miracles take all of its services and say, actually, we've gone completely digital to change and adapt to the current time. And we've done it quickly, and we've done it efficiently, and we've had uptake. We've had a large number of people move with us really quickly. I was about 50-50 before this happened, and all of those clients who were face-to-face clients who were always hesitant, they always were like, no, I prefer seeing you in person. I don't know if it will be as good working with you online. You know, this has forced their hand at having to try the sessions online, and all it takes is one session or one class to realize that it's just as good. They get just as much benefit. They feel just as great afterwards. So now there is no reason to not grow this completely different or now other available revenue stream, even once this is over. I do want to talk a little bit about this. There's two groups here I know. There are the people who do some work online already and are wondering how to grow that, both online and offline. And there's another group of people who have completely offline businesses. There are people who have brick and mortar stores or businesses that have to be run until now face-to-face or in person, or there's a physical transaction or product that is exchanged. And some of the questions I had yesterday coming through were about how to keep creating offline if you don't have an online business. And so I'm going to do an exercise shortly that's going to allow you to tap into the information that's available for your business, because there are many, many industries here that this could relate to. So I can give you industry specific information, but you have to tell me what industry you'd like that information about. Otherwise, I'm going to do an exercise that you can apply to whatever industry you are in. Some of the comments that I've got here, I'd like to have clarity with what I'd really like to create my business as. For all these years, I had the point of view that I'm very bad at business and I'm not smart to run a business. Okay, fair enough. My line of work is healing and I do body work, which requires body. Yes, I have lost interest in my business. I'm getting thoughts of total shutdown. Okay, so Mansi, who does that belong to? If you've lost interest in your business, if you're thinking about completely shutting down, if you think you should completely shut down right now, again, please spend a lot of time, multiple times a day, multiple times an hour, returning to sender. And then when we do this business exercise, it might help you get some clarity around how to really hear and listen to the whispers of your business, not all the other businesses and all the other people that are whispering to you. On that note, how many businesses, just like how many bodies, wanted to get out at this time? How many businesses were like, can we please stop? This is not working. And for those businesses and for those people and for those bodies and for those business owners who were dying a slow death running those businesses into the ground, would you please acknowledge that and also see the awesome lightness in the fact that this has created the end for some businesses, but that's not right or wrong or good or bad. It is what it is. And for some businesses, just like for some bodies and for some people, when it's time to change or it's time to just completely transform the form you are in and it no longer works in that same way, that's what's required. And on that note, the whole point of today or any call or any session, and in my interesting point of view around like what it is that I do or we do or why it's of benefit to do something like this, is to get out of any polarity. It's to get out of right or wrong or good or bad or positive or negative, or this is a good thing that's happened or a bad thing, or this is, I'm never going to recover from this, or this is exactly what I wanted. It's about actually getting to interesting point of view, actually getting to neutral, actually getting to just consciousness. Because from that space, anything is possible. And you can create anything you would like to create. You can actually create greater, much greater than what we can create from a very logical, linear, and polarized point of view. When we're functioning from past reference points, when we're functioning from how we've always done it or how we think we should do it, or from trying to prove in this reality or any reality, it's creating a limited version of what is possible. So a situation like what's going on in the whole world right now, when almost nothing is predictable and can be taken for granted, and everything is up for change, you get to go back to being neutral if you choose. You get to go back to being in true question. You get to go back to that point of creation and create without a limitation or a point of view or a judgment. Now, what is possible for your business if you grasp that possibility or opportunity that we have all just been given is so exciting. And that is why I have been so excited, because even for my business, there are things that I wanted to do in the future that I'm like, why was I waiting? I can do them now. There are things that were not working that I was looking for a convenient or a long enough or a torturous enough way to finally get out of it. And I'm like, oh, actually, no. I could just choose this time of massive change to further propel all of the changes that are required in my business that have been asking to be explored and to be created and for me to go in that direction. Oh, and another thing that I wanted to talk about is the speed that is available right now. There's this really exciting thing that's available, which is and it ties in with, because there's so much change, people who like normal and constant, and the people that say things like, this is how we do it because that's the way it's always been done, and why change something when it's already working? Okay, nothing is working in the world right now very well, okay? We're all locked down in our houses and we're not allowed to leave. And so people are like, oh God, like, what do we do now? So you have the opportunity to take whatever it is that you wanted to do and implement it swiftly, because those people's points of view are not so strong in your world if you are going to move with the creative energy that Amrit actually mentioned is available to us right now. There is a high level of creative energy. There is a high level of contributory energy coming from the earth and coming from nature and coming from all of the other entities and beings that are here for this moment of change on this planet at this time. And so I wanted to talk about time briefly because I wanted to give you some practical, pragmatic takeaway steps from today's call. And it might seem a little bit contradictory because my first piece of advice that I've been saying to everyone is, first of all, actually stop. Right now, if you're in business and you are seeing everyone panicking, if you're in a certain industry or any industry, and you're seeing businesses trying to do whatever they can to stay in business, and you feel like you need to be doing something or anything to try and catch up, or to look like you're doing something, or to make some money somehow, this is where I want you to stop and actually not waste your time and energy in knee-jerk reactions and being caught up in other people's points of view and emotions and doing what you see everyone else doing. Because it might not work for you. It might not be the thing that creates for you in your business. It might mean that you spend a whole lot of time and energy on doing something that isn't a contribution to you and your business. So stop and don't do anything. And then do this exercise that we'll do where you sit down and you spend however long you need to, whether it's an hour or 15 minutes, or whether it's a couple of days over several days, or whether every day for a week or a month, you sit down and you talk to your business and you get really present and really congruent and really clear about what's actually required and what's actually going to create. And then I want to put that together with that seemingly contradictory piece of advice where then I say, and you have all this speed available to you now. So on one hand, I'm saying stop. And on the other hand, I'm saying go as fast as you can. But go as fast as you can in the direction that feels so clear and congruent to you, where you feel like you're being led intuitively in that direction, rather than the panicked, forced, high output, high energy, but draining exercises or initiatives that you might be seeing happening in the world around you that are not really going to work in the long run anyway. There is a way for you to be quite clear about what will work for the future and what will not, based on your awareness and based on your ability to get really clear on that awareness and then create in a really congruent and cohesive way for that future. And that's what we'll do shortly. Okay. Sorry, guys. Questions, comments, queries, keep them coming. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, let's talk about this. So Jay is saying she became an Access Bars facilitator, and then something stopping her from advertising her classes online. I know I'm capable, but still somewhere I stop myself. This is a great point, and I'd love to speak to this. And I want to speak to this for all businesses and all industries. You might be aware right now energetically that it feels quite yucky to be advertising or selling in the current global climate. That means, on one hand, as I've said, and Amrit said, businesses around us are closing down. People are suffering. We're very aware of that. People are not able to make money because entire businesses and industries have closed down. And so here you are with a business that can still operate, and a talent and a gift or an ability to still put yourself out there, and it feels weird. And you're like, I don't know why it feels yucky, but I don't really want to advertise right now. I don't want to put anything out there. Okay, first of all, whoever that belongs to, everyone that belongs to, and everywhere that you're picking that up from, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Return it to sender.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there is an energy around that, so you have to clear it so that you're not picking up on it and you're not at the effect of it. Then I want you to get really clear with yourself about why you're doing what you're doing, because all of us are going to feel yucky right now if we feel like we're taking advantage of people and still trying to make money just for the sake of it, because we can and other people can't. But on the flip side of that, I am sure, regardless of what you do and what industry you are in, there is a service that you provide that can be of immense service to the people that require it and are looking for it. And especially if you are a healer or a facilitator or a practitioner, or basically someone who's on this call, even if you're an accountant or an IT person, if you have a certain amount of consciousness from which you function and you're still able to operate and create in your business, please do that and offer your services in a way that where you're clear that you're doing it to be of service and to provide your service, not in a way to take advantage of people, not to get people to give you money if you can't deliver, but if you are genuinely showing up in your business right now, people are looking for you. People need help. People still require things. And there are a lot of people that are very grateful for the people who are still able to be in business and operate businesses, because actually we're contributing to the economy right now. Okay? So please do.
Okay. Thank you.
If I can just add to that super quickly, Adila,
Yes,
it's this exact thing that you're saying is what took me to this place of it's got to be a win-win for everyone, no matter what the time, no matter what the scenario, virus, no virus, happy, not happy, whatever the case may be. It's like there's got to be a way where it's got to be a win-win for everyone, whether it's clients, whether it's facilitators, whether it's communities, whether it's the world, whether it's whatever. It's got to bodies. It's got to win. It's got to be a win-win for everyone.
Yes.
So it's exactly that space that you're talking about is where this came from. So thank you for acknowledging that.
You're so welcome. And I want to go to the greatest. Let's play a game, okay, for the next week. Okay.
Always.
When you guys are doing something, go to the greatest common denominator instead of the smallest or the lowest common denominator. So what I mean by that is Amrit started off and she was like, it's got to be win-win for the clients and the businesses and bodies and actually for the world. And I'm like, let's go straight to the world. Because you're absolutely right. You're 100%. And the reason I'm saying this with such conviction is I literally was writing an article today and my final paragraph was like, make sure what you are doing is a win-win for you and everyone involved, right? And so what that does is it reaffirms to me that we are all connected. And so there's 60 of us on this call. And even if just 60 of us, which it's certainly much, much more than that, but say there's 60 people around the world just on this call connected, to a greater consciousness and going to the greatest common denominator of why they're doing what they're doing and why they're showing up in their business, and the integrity and the intention with which they are going to continue serving people in their business, making money, providing to the economy, paying taxes, maybe employing other people. Wow, like what does that create? What does that create for the whole world? So we have to function from that space. I feel like there are some things that we don't have, and in a good way. I feel like there are some things that we don't have the luxury anymore of choosing it to do it any other way. I think for those of us that want to be here at this time and be the gift and show up as the gift that we are, this is what is required. And so I'm imploring you actually to please show up. Please stay trading in your business. Please ask your business and yourself, what is the way that would be the greatest contribution? What and how would my business like to be created as now? What is it finally time for that I've been avoiding or not been willing to look at, not been willing to receive, not being willing to be seen as or seen in? All of those things that until now you felt like it wasn't the right time, you still had the luxury of time, you still had the luxury of not being seen or playing small or coming up with excuses. Guess what? The world just went into crisis. The world just went into crisis and got locked down. So it's time for you to stand up. And it's time for you to create, and it's time for you to be seen, and it's time for you to acknowledge and receive from yourself as well, and to be that authority for yourself. Another thing I would love to explore or actually talk to you about is, no matter what industry you're in right now, please don't look to anyone else for the authority and for the validation and for the information that you require, that you are going to use to choose what direction to go in right now. For sure, use that information to give you information, but don't use your industry, don't use your colleagues, don't use your whatever your professional association or what the people at the top or the president or the chairman or the people who are meant to be in charge and are meant to have the answers. This is not a time to once again surrender and give up your knowing and your awareness because someone at the top has said this is the direction we should go in now, or this is what's going to happen. Everyone's guessing right now. I would much rather put my money on you because you have awareness. You function from awareness. You function from consciousness. You've just been sitting quietly and trying to hide your gifts. But if you were to actually out yourself from the closet right now, maybe it's time for you to create in a direction that initially might look very different. And you might be like, oh no, everyone else in my industry is going that way and I'm heading this way. And am I wrong and am I bad? But like I said, right now, if you ever had the ability to do this without receiving as much judgment, because the world's very understanding in a crisis, right? Because the thinking is people are doing whatever they need to do to survive. So use that to your advantage. Use that to move in the direction that you know is greatest, not follow everyone else. And that is how you will create a future that is perhaps greater than what anyone else can. This is how you will become a leader, first of all, for yourself. Doesn't matter if you're leading anyone else or not. But once you're a leader for yourself and you start to trust yourself and your awareness and your knowing, the results become really tangible. You start to see success. And then the other people that went the other way in your industry look to you and they say, can you show me how you did that? And this is how you create the evolution of an entire industry. I started working and doing online sessions in the work that I do a long time ago. And nobody else was really doing it because my background is I'm a chiropractor. So all the other chiropractic doctors are still face-to-face, in-person appointments. And there's no one else seeing clients on the other side of the world doing kinesiology or the other body sessions that I do online. And when this happened last week, the amount of messages I got from other chiropractors and people that had taught me, people that had been my mentors and my seniors who wanted to know how I was doing sessions online, not from a place of judgment, but from genuine curiosity. And it was my absolute pleasure and privilege to be able to say, I'm more than happy to share what I know and share what I've been doing. And this is how you create change and contribute to the world and contribute to the economy. Yeah. I could keep talking for a really long time on business. So I'm going to try and answer some of these questions, and then I'd love to do the exercise and then talk a little bit about some other stuff. So I'm going to try and get through this stuff. Okay, guys? All right. I'm just reading your questions. Yeah, great. Shivangi, I hope I'm saying your name right, is saying that what's showing up is for her to start her business at this time, and at the same time, it feels so bizarre. And can I contribute to this? Yeah. If you have an idea that seems bizarre right now, like it would seem so counterintuitive to start a business right now or to change what you're doing in your business right now, I want you to do what we've been talking about. There is this creative energy that is available to all of us. I've been creating so much in my business. I'm creating another side business just because I can't say no to the idea, because there is such a need for it to support again, women and mothers. And so I'm creating another kind of side business that is complementary to what I do, but there's no requirement for me to create at this time. It doesn't really make sense in this economy. But on the other hand, the whispers are so loud and the need is so loud. And so especially if you're getting the kick or the hit or the whisper to create an idea or a business or to expand or to evolve your business right now, please don't think it's crazy or bizarre. Please jump on that bandwagon and ride it as far as you can. And if I can give you some practical advice, if it helps, then don't talk about it to anyone who is not going to be able to receive that right now. If you are aware that people around you are going to look at you and say, what are you doing? This is a crazy time to think about starting a business. You're setting yourself up for failure. Then for now, just for me, just for fun, put all the wheels in motion, get all the elements together, find the people who are a contribution, get on calls like this, create it. Because if it's asking to be created right now, yes, now is the time. Yuvika is using this lockdown in planning for her business, which is technologically very advanced. I am so excited to see what that is. This is the time to create all that stuff that we've been like, now is not the time for until now. We've felt like we're too far ahead in the future. the world is crying for innovation. You will be hailed a hero if you can listen to those whispers and implement what you are aware of. Please implement what you are aware of. I'm perceiving a lot of judgment every time I announce something I can online. Okay, good. How much are you aware of this? Great, great, great. Sharad, you'd like to ask a question? Please ask a question. Sharad, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, Adila.
Hi, how are you going?
Yeah. Hi.
What's your question?
Very good, actually. My question is, like you gifted us this call, and thank you so much for that. And a lot of people who are in the survival mode are expecting us to give things, So every time I was trying to get you happy on class, and I didn't have any takers. I mean, I charged a very bare minimum for the class. Yeah. And I think I also had a point of view that in times like this, when people are trying to survive, I should not be charging.
Yeah.
So how do I, work that? It is just the basic necessities, the vegetables, the fruits, and they're like struggling for all that and doing housework. So how does one get into that energy?
Yeah.
Like I need to convince myself that it's okay to charge.
Yeah, I completely hear you and feel you. It's not that I don't feel the same way. Hence, I've done 2 free calls this week. No. Here's the thing. We have got to be really firm in our conviction of the value that we are delivering, right? And I would like to bring together a couple of pieces. As very aware humanoids who often are very caring people, especially if you're in the healing or facilitating profession, like I would love to just heal the world right now and give whatever is required. And on the other hand, that won't be valued if it's completely free, right? Now, there is a way to use your awareness to see what will and won't work right now. So, for example, there are programs that I have. So I changed a lot in my business to acclimatize to what's going on right now. And some of that included price adjustments. What I mean by that is I didn't drastically do something which would then be dishonoring of me or my business or the work that I do and share. But I did look at that. I am very aware of that. There are people very close to me, myself, my business. I was meant to be, running live classes and generating large amounts of revenue from live classes that are just not happening for the next however many months. So it's easy to go into that. No one has money. Everyone's in lack. Who's going to pay mentality, right? So here are my tips for you, for everyone. Get really clear on the fact that what you are doing is of service. Make sure it is of service. And this is where that win-win comes up. You are doing this because you know that this is a contribution to people and their lives. Come up with a price point that feels very light and fair and honoring to, again, everyone in that situation. So to give you an example again, with my classes, with my online programs coming up, I have made a price adjustment, especially for those countries that are not the US and Europe right now, because I'm in New Zealand, our dollar just tumbled. We're now like almost 50 cents to the American dollar. So I'm also aware of what's going on globally, and I've got my finger on the pulse of the global climate. I'm taking into consideration all the things I need to take into consideration, but also not cutting myself out of the equation. Thirdly, when you do that, and then you show up whether it's online, whether it's digital, whether it's in-person advertising, or you put your classes up, the energy with which you can show up and with which it's received can be different. There might still always be people who, just for the sake of telling you you're wrong and you're bad and you shouldn't be charging, will still tell you you're wrong and you're bad and you shouldn't be charging. But there's going to be other people who are so grateful that you're still working, that you can help them, that you can help their kids right now, that you can give them a way to get through this situation, that you can help them grow their business, whatever it is that you do. I'm still hiring people and still paying other people money to do things in my business. So there are other people who are still running businesses and still have money. And how you are contributing to the economy is also still having money, so that you can actually go and buy some milk and bread and contribute to the guy that sells milk and bread. Yeah? So get clear on that. It's of no service to anyone if nobody has money. It's also a lie that nobody has money. And there's some people in the world that are waiting right now and are very happy because it's sale time. There's people that have plenty of money in the world, and everything's just gone on sale, from houses to cars to whatever it is, including your services. So you've got to realize that there are people who are going to have money and who can pay you what you're asking for. There are other people that it might feel okay for you to make a price adjustment. Make a generalized price adjustment normally rather than do individual deals, because that can start to get really funky. And always be honoring of both parties. That means you and your business as well as your clients. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I'm going to start today.
Yay! I want to see all of you guys advertising your businesses when I get off here. I expect to have my newsfeed full of business announcements. Can you talk about body being a part of you creating your business in this scenario? Okay. Yeah. There's no way your body is not a part of you creating in this scenario. And a lot of those, oh, damn it, we're meant to be doing an exercise. Okay, guys, we're going to shortly get to the exercise. Let me get through a couple more questions. Okay. Yeah, Charu, I hope that conversation about money helped you too. What can I ask that will allow more people to show up for my classes? Okay, fantastic. Yes, I'm going to answer this and then we're going to go to an exercise. How can you get more people to your classes? Again, also what I just answered for Sharad, I hope that, I looked at this too, guys. I've looked at this for my business. I looked at what's required. We're actually not only continuing in my business, we're expanding and we're doing more. And it's because it's a contribution and it's time. And there might be a way for you to maybe get more clear. And again, we're going to do this exercise in a minute, I promise, where get really clear perhaps on what classes you're offering. What classes are required? What are people asking for? What will contribute and what is whispering to you to be created? If you had a schedule of classes from a few months ago, that may no longer be relevant. I threw everything out and looked at it again and completely moved timelines and delivery and platforms to adapt to this situation and get an awareness of what would actually work and what is actually required. So yeah, the one the one situation in which pressing ahead with classes or your online business and feeling like there's no point because nobody's buying is if you abandon your awareness and don't create congruently with your awareness and with consciousness and what's actually required. If you are completely out of touch and just wanting to continue for the sake of continuing with what you had already decided you were going to do, then yeah, you might be finding right now that you're not having much success. This is a time for all of us as people, as individuals, as well as for businesses, to evolve and to change. So I don't think many people are going to get away at this time with not doing that. That's why when I said step 1 earlier was just stop everything and give yourself some time to get clear on what is the best way forward and what is the direction for you to go in right now. Do that. Then relook at what you're delivering, how you're delivering it, how you're marketing it. You might need to change some of your visuals or your color schemes or your copy right now, the words or the captions that you're using, because it has to be relevant and it has to be an invitation to people currently. So be aware of that stuff. Okay. Yes, and let's clear all of the distractor implants, please. So all of the fear, all of the anger, all of the blame, shame, regret, guilt. Guilt is a distractor implant. A distractor implant stops you from being present. So would you be willing to clear all of the distractor implants and all of the Mobius strips, so all of the things underneath that are holding those distractors in place, and everywhere where it stops you from being present with what's required because you're off in somebody else's universe or off being distracted? Will you please destroy it and create that all? Let it go, return it to sender. Okay. Okay, guys, I would like to get to this exercise that I have been promising you. What I had actually done, what I want to do is a very, very short version of the business whispering exercise with you. One of the things, if you want to see how I'm looking at or making changes in my business, I know that this exercise is a contribution to a lot of people right now, because what I hear all of the time is people saying, I don't know how to have clarity. I don't know what my business is saying. I can't hear the whispers. So one of the products that I have is an audio series of 3 business whispering exercises. One is a general business whispering exercise for you to hear what your business is saying and ask it questions and receive the awareness that you require. And another one is specifically about pricing and money. And another one is about marketing. Something I asked my tech person to do was to create a discount code for you guys to be able to purchase that. It's normally $120. I want to make it available at this time for $27 for you guys. My tech person hasn't come back with the discount code. So I'm going to tell it to you now, and I'm going to email you once it's gone live. But if you go to the link that I will post in here for you, and enter the word create as your code, you will get that product for $27. And this is what I mean around, you can choose to do things that you might not normally do at this time, because you get the hit or the awareness that it would be a contribution. It does not mean you have to discount things. It does not mean you have to give things for free. But if you're happy to do it, and if it's honoring of you and your business and the people receiving it, then it's cool. If there was no point of view, and if it was not right or wrong or good or bad, then what would you choose? And if you were not in anyone else's universe, what would you choose? Okay. All right, let's do this business whispering quick exercise. All right. Will you take a moment right now just to completely relax, no matter where you are? You can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed. You can do this lying down or you can do this seated. As long as you feel safe, as long as you feel relaxed, what we're going to do is ask to connect to and have a conversation with the entity or the energy that of your business or of the idea that you might currently have or of the class that you're trying to create, and ask it what it requires right now and what would help it to be born into the world in the way that will create the most success for everyone. So in order to do this, would you please push down your barriers and take a nice deep breath in? And when you breathe out, can you please expand to be as big as you can be? And then will you say hello to the entity that is your business? So if your business is a company, if your business is its own entity, if your business is your facilitation business, your coaching business, your IT business, even if you work for someone else, you have your own business, which is the business of what you do to create money in your life. If there's a class that you've been creating, say hello and get an awareness of what that business feels like when it responds to you. It might be a voice, but it might more be an energy, an awareness, a feeling or a sensation in your body. So take a minute right now just to get familiar with what the entity of your business sounds like and feels like. Okay, just a note. Will you be aware of how big your business is? It's not little. It's not your baby. Your business is massive. As an entity, it is an infinite energy, just like you are. So you don't need to control it. You're not in charge of it. You don't know better than it. Right now, we're having a conversation to receive from it. And now, will you ask your business, what is it that it would like you to know that you haven't been willing to know? What is it that it would like you to create that you haven't been willing to create? How would it like to be created? Where would it like to be created? When would it like to be created? What's possible for your business that you haven't even considered? Just relax your body. Feel as light and as easy in your body as you can. If you're holding any tension or if you're bracing to receive this information, it's not going to work. This isn't hard. It's not meant to be hard or painful. It's easy and enjoyable. What's possible for your business that you haven't even considered? Get an awareness of that energy and how big that energy is, and expand out to match that energy, at least be as big, if not bigger than that energy and that awareness. What would your business like you to know right now? What would the class you're trying to create like you to know right now? What has it been trying to tell you that you haven't been willing to hear? what would your business like you to do tomorrow or today to create what it would like to create? What can you institute today that you haven't been willing to institute until now? Who are the people that your business would like you to add? Who can you add to your business? Who would your business like you to talk to? Or what information would your business like you to receive? Who are you being inclined or getting the whisper to go and talk to or call or send a message to or connect with? Not with an agenda, just to see what else is possible, just to say, hey, I don't know. I literally had a message today from someone. They said, I don't know why I'm sending you a message, but I'm sending you a message. And it was awesome because we created something cool. So what is it that your business and you can create together if you got out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, out of form, structure, significance, out of linearity, and out of concentricity right now? How out of control can you be, and how much can you create that you've never been able to create or you have never been willing to create before? What is the universe, the world, your business, people, bodies? What are they whispering to you? What are the whispers that are whispering to you that only you can hear? That if you would listen to those whispers, would create the future that you have been asking to create. What future is possible for you now that is greater? And what future is available now for your business that is greater than any other future that you have thought or seen or perceived as possible before? Okay, so just in closing, anything else that your business would like to tell you or that your business would like you to know? Would you once again just lower your barriers and tell your business that it's okay to tell you whatever it is that it would like to tell you right now? Will you receive that information? Will you trust this information? Will you trust your knowing? Will you destroy and uncreate the doubt that you might have around, did I hear something? Did I perceive or receive anything? Was that me or was that my business? Am I right or am I wrong? Everything that is. Would you let that go and actually, just for the next 30 seconds, be in complete gratitude for yourself and for your business, and convey your gratitude to your business, to your idea, to your class, for being willing to contribute to you and to co-create with you, and be willing to receive everything it can gift you in this moment and more. When you're ready, you can become present. You can say thank you and goodbye to your business, but it's always there for you to tap into and have this conversation with. And you can open your eyes and come back to being here. Okay. All right. So in a moment, I'll do some final questions, comments, and queries for us to close up. I'm just seeing. Okay. All right. Now, I found the link to the call series, but I don't have the discount activated yet. So I will, this is the discount code. You don't have to use the, quotation marks if you just put create into the box, PayPal box. It should be activated in the next few hours. I'll send out an email when it is with this recording. You'll get that product that goes through this exercise in a more elaborate way and then has the different versions of it. So the pricing one especially is super helpful because people are always like, I don't know how to price my classes or my products. And don't just do it once, do it when you create a new product or service, when there's a change, when you feel like your pricing isn't quite right and something needs to change, that's when you can redo these exercises. This series of audio exercises are something that if you added to your weekly or even your daily when you first start off practice, if you're creating a new business or changing direction in your business, that's why it was created, okay? And anyone can do it. And it's super easy. It's like a meditation, just like we just did, okay? Okay, so things that are coming up from my end that you may be interested in. And for those of you wanting to know how we've changed things or adapted in my business, today I was meant to be flying to Singapore for our classes over Easter. We were having a body whispering and a business whispering class in Singapore. So that's obviously not happening right now. What we are doing is we've taken those classes. Only this week did I get the awareness and did those classes, you know, speak to me and say, actually, we can do this online. And so in May, we're doing from the weekend of the 9th and 10th of May, we're doing the body whispering class online, and then we're doing the business whispering class straight after that on the 10th, 11th and 12th of May. All online, all global, all participants from any country. We're going to try and find the most effective times to do that in for all time zones. And body whispering does include body swaps, and we're going to be pairing you up with partners online to do those swaps and do those distance body swap sessions, okay? For those of you who are wanting more information or more guidance or more coaching and facilitation around creating business right now, especially those of you who are either starting from scratch or are trying to get an offline business or a business that you did more in person rather than online, if you're wanting to really create business for now or start a new business, the business upgrade program that I run every year, we're starting again at the end of this month, and I'm really structuring it to create as much content for you to create in this changing economy than ever before. So we're doing all of the modules that we already did, plus we're adding lots of extras, plus I'm adding an online business retreat day for you to look at what needs to change either drastically in your business or how to create from scratch right now if you don't already have a business. That is going to be for people who are in their first few years of business, needing to make a drastic change, or who don't yet have a business. And I have adjusted the price points for that class, that 3-month program. It is going to be, I think it's going to be $575 US for the entire 3 months. And there's a payment plan option, and you get the business retreat day as a bonus. Okay. For those of you who have existing businesses, if you're like me, if you have had a business for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, if you are pretty established, if you have all of your basics in place, if you have your social media, if you have 1 or 2 people already that you create with or employ, if you are already pretty well set with the foundations of your business, we are bringing forward the Build Your Own Empire program, that year-long program that is part of the Advanced Certified Business Whisperers program as well. So this program is if you would like to create at a more advanced level for your business, and or those people who want to go on after doing a business whispering class to become a business whispering coach like me and be certified in doing that. This is a year-long program. It's going to run June to June. And I've tried to, this is one of my, I'm really excited about this. It brings together coaching for you and your business. It brings together a mastermind, so you being able to collaborate and learn and connect with other people who are business owners from all over the world. And it's a certification course to make you a certified coach as well, all under one banner. I'm so excited about this. Again, this was meant to be something we rolled out in August after we did 2 sets of live classes in the world. Those live classes right now, we don't know the status of. So we are adapting and bringing those classes forward and doing everything online for now. I'm going to send you more information about all of this. But if you have questions or comments, you can send me an email or send the team an email, and we will get that information to you. Okay, so we are right on the dot, but any final questions, comments, or queries before we all sign off? Okay. Everyone, would you do yourself a favor? Take a minute, expand, relax, and all of this energy that you can perceive right now, will you join me in really directing it towards the creation of your lives and your businesses right now? Okay, so in whatever way you'd like to, whether it's a 1, 2, 3, or whether it's with your eyes closed or your eyes open, will you just join me in directing all of this creative energy and all of the possibility that you have available to you into creating in your business and in your lives right now? 1, 2, 3. Okay. And do this. Connect with the earth, connect with the universe, connect with your business, and do that every day right now. Do it on a regular basis. See what it creates. All right, you guys have been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that was on. Thank you to all of our contributors. Thank you to everyone that asked a question. I'm so grateful. And I'm so happy to have playmates. And this is what I would love to see you guys do, is take this energy and create with it and show me and share with me what you're creating, so we can contribute and continue to contribute to each other. Okay? All right, guys.
Thank you, Adila.
Thank you, guys. All right, look after
Thank you so much,
yourself.
Adila. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, translators. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Hi, Adina. Thank you.